You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Good morning and welcome to the Freedom, Health and Lifestyle podcast. I'm in a little bit different environment today. I'm here in a hotel in Wicklow called the Hunter's Rest. Nice place. I'm just waiting for my good friend Joye, $1 million difference maker Maka Unga. He's running a little bit late. I'm running a little bit late as well, so apologies for that. But look, this is episode 151. And, you know, look, the direction of your daily actions. And this is what we're going to get into a little bit, I think. But look, this podcast is really all about thinking and doing better. And when I talk about doing better, I'm talking about action, you know, the actions that you take every day, you know, to be better than you were yesterday, or maybe than you were just an hour ago, or maybe 5 minutes ago. Doesn't matter. It's about thinking and doing better. And that's all we want. We all want better, for whether it be better health, better financial situation, better relationships. And, you know, look, we can all do with better. But that starts with us by, you know, acting in a better way, thinking in a better way. Who's to say what better is, right? But look, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, click that notification button. You'll learn when we're on, usually around about the same time every week, a little bit late this week, but usually around on the hour, about half an hour ago, depending on where you are in the world. right? But look, don't forget, you can find Joey on his Facebook page. Let me see. Hold on, if we can share that. You can find Joey on his Facebook page, facebook.com/joey.unga. I recommend you go there and check him out. Maybe follow him, find out what he's doing. Maybe you'll be interested in finding out more about what he's doing and maybe joining him. And of course, if you want to join in what he's doing, one of the places you can find out is on his health and wellness page, joeyunga1.isogenics.com/en-au. Again, links are in the description, so go and check him out. Great contact form there where he'll be able to reach back out to you and let you know what he's working on, and he'll be the first to tell you if it's right for you or not. But look, all pretty straightforward. I don't have any videos. I could probably pull a couple of videos up, but I'm not going to because I'm not prepared. How bad is that? But look, I suppose I had kind of suggested that you're hold on. Damn. See, that's what happens when you're not in your own office. So I'd kind of suggested that that your future isn't created by what you intend to do. It's created by what you repeatedly do. And if you've got some bad habits, like, how are things ever going to change? Change for the better. I was on a call there yesterday evening with a great group of people. And I was talking, about my dog, Coco. Like, my dog, Coco, at the time, she was 12 years old. She could barely get up the stairs. And, oh my God, I would just watch her and I think, oh my God, that is so, what can I do? What can I do to make her life better? Is there something that I can get? And I came across this company. I reached out to them and they sent me this little care package. And, I gave it to my dog at 10 o'clock one Sunday morning. At 5 o'clock, she ran up the stairs. Couldn't believe it. The next day, she just kept getting better and better and better. And I found it really easy to create new habits to help Coco, and by watching how she was getting better, it made me feel better, right? I felt better for myself because I wasn't looking at her and thinking, oh God, I'm worrying about her. Sure, she felt better because she had better mobility, she had more energy, she had less pain. And it kind of inspired me to use the human products for myself. But it was easy for me to take care of Coco. It was easy for me to take care of her business for her, and introduce those changes for her. But when I thought about it, it was hard for me to introduce those changes for myself because I'm not used to taking care of myself, maybe. I'm not used to taking care of myself in a certain way. And it was challenging to introduce and create new habits in order to get better results. What results was I looking for? Less knee pain, right? Things like this. But I found it hard. You think that sounds silly, really, doesn't it? It sounds really silly that, you wouldn't be able to introduce something into your daily routine to give you a better result, to give you better performance, to give you better, mental energy, physical energy. Why is that? Why do we find it hard to look after ourselves in a certain way, to take care of our own business in a certain way, when we find it easy to get involved in somebody else's business and want to be able to help them and sort something out for them? So, that's what I was thinking about. And I was thinking that my future, isn't created by what I intend to do. I'll start tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll start next week, or, I'll put, like, your future is created by what you repeatedly do. So if you keep putting something off, that's the future that you're going to have, right? You're going to have to keep putting it off. Whereas if you take action, do it now, as Joey says, right? Start, don't stop. Start before you're ready. Do it repeatedly, be consistent, make a, committed decision that you want this change. But, you've got to know what it is that you want, right? If you know what you want, the how becomes easy sometimes. So, but look, the key is to stop waiting, choose your direction, and then take a step, right? That's it. How much more, complicated does it have to get, So, look, this show, Freedom, Health, and Lifestyle, I suppose is all about. Well, let's break that down. Look, what is freedom? What does freedom mean for you? Well, for me, it's about time freedom. And I asked my wife Kate, what was freedom to her, and she said, well, freedom to me would be being able to go to a shopping mall on a Tuesday afternoon, and you could come with me, and that's what it meant to her. And then, of course, hold on one second, my good friend Joye Maka Unga is just coming in to view. Let me see if I can add him. Okay. Joey, good day. How are you
Mike,
doing?
very good, Mike. I do apologize for the late.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was late too. I was late myself. You're in the dark. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm currently in the car. We're going back now. So and I said to my wife, you better be driving now back home so I can.
Nice. Well, look, I was just, thank you so much. I'm just getting a cup of coffee here. Thank you. I'm in this new location today because I left a little bit early because I had a few things to do that I want to get done first before I call, which obviously delayed me. So I'm sorry about that, Joe. But look, I was just saying that, that this episode isn't about, it's about the direction of your daily actions. And I was explaining that I found it easier to help my dog, look after her daily actions than I do with my own daily actions, So, when my dog was a little bit under the weather and she was struggling with arthritis and things like this, I found it easy to take care of her and to introduce a daily routine for her, supplementary, exercise and things like this to make her better, which in turn made me feel better. But at the same time, when I think about my daily actions and what I want and how I want to, think and feel and act and everything else like this, it's hard for me to introduce new daily habits because I'm not used to taking care of myself. I'm used to taking care of other people. I'm not used to taking care of me. So it's hard to look inward and say, right, what is it that I need to do for me to get better? How can I help me get better? And what can I do consistently? What daily actions can I take? Even if it's just an introduction of a supplement or a product or a service, which is going to help me get better. And your future isn't created by what you intend to do. It's created by what you repeatedly do. So if I repeatedly put off taking that action, all I'm going to get is more procrastination, because I'm going to say, I'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow's going to come and say, oh, do you know what? I'll start on Monday. Monday's a better day to start. And then Monday comes by and I'll say, do you know what? I should have started last week. What I'll do is I'll set a new goal and I'll start, this day or whatever. So it can be challenging to introduce new things. But again, it is about all the things that we talk about before. It's about making a decision, a committed decision, writing down your goals, having a plan of action, and then sticking to it. So if you can talk about, what does it mean, to repeatedly do something, even though you don't see the results right away, but talk about, what maybe you can do to move in the direction that you want, your daily actions are going to move you in a direction that you want your life to go in. How do you start that process? I'm not even sure Joey's on. Oh, he is. Is he? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I think we have a mastermind today with our team, and there's a couple show up today. And as we're sharing, I remind them that your path, your path and your path, doesn't have to define your future destination, the future result. We have the potential to change the direction of our journey, whether it's your health, mindset or result in general, we can control that. And I think that's the difference between us and the human, the animal kingdom, is that we have the ability to think, we have the ability to feel, and we have the ability to act in a certain way that determine our result, determine our destination. So that's for me, when we have the awareness, we are always using, and we have the potential in us to change the direction of our journey, to change our destiny. Our past and past results, and that's define ourselves and define our results in the future. So it's all about awareness and have the committed decision to do something different, do things in a certain way as the signs of getting rich encourage us to
Mm.
So you're absolutely right. This is part of our thoughts of our life. I always say that. Have to take results. But because we make decisions, we go after that. What we really want to find, but make sure that we allow ourselves the right that help us ourselves focus and sometimes until we get the result that we really want. So that's how I see that. And I know that every time we are in a very good I have goals. We think in the same way. We have the common intention. How can we support? How can we live the world? Leave the world in a better place than we found it. And because we have to say my place. So everything
I think it's just
for some reason, because of the desire, because of the willingness in us to make a difference in the world.
Joey, you kind of making sense there, right? But there's something that holds us back, like fear. Fear of what other people think. There's a fear that holds people back. But again, when I think about my dog Coco and how 12 years old, could barely get up the stairs, I wasn't afraid to do something for her, right? I wasn't afraid to make changes for her, for her life to get better. Why am I afraid to make changes for my life, or make changes to me for my life to get better? Right? That's the point that I'm making. What is it that, why can I see that, I can look at you and I can see the results that you're getting. What's stopping me from doing what you're doing? What's stopping me from copying you? Because even though we're unique, and we're all individual, we're not quite individual because we all copy each other. So if I wanted to be successful, I could look at you and I could say, well, I could copy Joey. I could copy what Joey's doing. Joey's going to the gym 3 times a week, 4 times a week, he's playing paddleball twice a week. He's taking action, on his physical health, but he's also introduced daily habits, by putting the right stuff into his body, and again, it didn't happen over, it didn't happen with, it didn't happen over one day. It happened over, days through consistency, deliberate effort, things like this. Why is it easy for me to help, my dog to get better and not help myself get better? Why is that easier? Why is it easy? Why is it easier to help somebody else? And this from, because I'm sure there's people that come into your life that want to give you advice on different things, but have no idea, have never done it themselves. Why are we open to so many other people, telling us what to do, or us giving advice to other people, telling them what to do, when we're not prepared to do it for ourselves, right? So, when you think about the direction that your daily actions are taking you, you know, it's about, there's got to be some self-reflection there, right? First, you know, where you can recognize where you are, and then ask yourself the question, well, where is it that I want to be? What is my goal? What is it that I want to achieve? And if you're talking about weight, you know, right, okay, I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, well, you want to lose 50 pounds. When do you want to lose 50 pounds by? You've got to be realistic about it, right? And then you've got to say, right, okay, well, what can I do on a daily basis that's going to move me closer to that goal? And then you have to start, right? You have to actually physically start, you know, by maybe not putting that food in your mouth, you know, or by putting the right food in your mouth, or whatever it is, or, you know, or getting up first and going for a 20-minute walk, you know, maybe walking 25% faster, then coming back and then putting the right food in your mouth, you know. So, you know, why is it easier to, you know, why do I find it easier? Why did I find it easier to help my dog get better, right? And to give more life to give more life, you know, to her life than I do to look at myself. You know, it's almost like I need someone to look at me and say, right, okay, you should do this. It's like I need a mentor or somebody who's going to guide me. But before that happens, and that's why we go to a professional coach or something like this, or if you go down the gym, you get a trainer, you know, who gives you a plan, you know, stuff like this. So, like, you know, what do you create the do you, this you see this is it. So action without a plan is a waste of time, you know, because you just randomly, you know. I remember years ago, Joe, when we first started our business, you know, I sat down with a guy, and this is a business analyst, and I said, look, you know, I just want to go guns blazing. And he said, there's nothing wrong with guns blazing. He says, but you've got to have your guns all pointed in the same direction, you know, otherwise you're just all over the place. You know, you've got to have a clear focus, what it is that you want. So how do you get to that? How do you get to that stage where you're ready to change? You're ready to make a new direction, take a new direction. How do you get to that stage? What has to happen first?
I think in life, you know, everyone will have something happen to them, and we used to say everything happened for a reason, and some people, the event that happened to them was very tragic, very strategic, like what has happened to me. You know, I end up in hospital, in an operation theater, you know, to open up my artery to see what's going on with me. Some people were like maybe going to war, and then they realize, oh, I have to change something. Or maybe some people lose some loved one, you know, or something that close to their heart, and they find, oh, you know, I better do something, you know, for others, you know, because when you lose or about to lose something that's close to your heart, I find more easier. And you talk about it, why it's easy for me to give my all and take action to support other people. And in your case, it's your pet, you know, your dog. You know, it's to do something for others, then kind of like look at ourselves. What do I really need first, so I can be better and be able to assist other people? And I think it happens to a lot of human beings. You know, there's part of us that we want to be service to others and want others to. Did you see Howard in class? Yeah. Sometimes the decision is I think it derives from a letter. Whether go, you have to cut something. You have to cut something out or sacrifice something to get something in life. And I think, you know, when it comes to service or to do something about ourselves, compared to do to others, we kind of like feel like it's more easy for us to sacrifice our needs so we can give others our opportunity to have another chance or thrive or aspire. So, in my opinion, it's very important to understand that we are all connected in some way. Okay? We're all connected in some way. whether it's our loved ones, our family, our spouse, we all connected. And whatever decision that we want to do for the better of the whole of yourself, myself, or your loved ones, your family, and the people that surround you, including your business and your ambition, we need to understand that the decision that we make will make an impact. Eh? The things that we want to cut or to sacrifice for the better of the whole, it will make an impact. Whether the decision is a bad decision or good decision, it will still make an impact, negative or positive.
That's
So,
true.
yeah, but when we understand the concept of making a decision for ourselves, we know when we make a good decision about ourselves, we are able to make decisions about other people. Okay?
But
And
sometimes, Joey, sometimes that can be the challenge, right?
yeah,
You know, because you make a decision for yourself, right? You make a decision that you're going to be better, right? So, and then it affects the people around you, you know, because,
yeah,
you know, maybe let's say that you make a decision that you're not going to eat bread anymore. So you're not buying any more bread.
yeah,
But other people in the house, they love bread. And now they're
yeah,
upset with you because you're not getting bread anymore. So because you're doing something that's affecting other people, you stop doing it.
yeah,
And and I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm saying that's a sacrifice that, you know, the sacrifices that you have to make. And sometimes the
yeah,
sacrifice that you make does affect other people, especially with your time. You know, like if you're working
yeah,
on something, you know, and you have to go to an event, you have to go and do something, and maybe you're gone for a weekend or something like this, and you know, and your family's going to miss you, you know. But if you don't go, it's going to set you back, right?
yeah,
And sometimes you make decisions not to go. Like sometimes you have to sacrifice a season of your life, you know,
yeah,
to make that step, to make a step, and it always brings me back to that quote: "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you got to build a new model that makes the old model obsolete." That Buckminster Fuller quote, and that's always the challenge: is that you have to stop fighting the existing reality. You
yeah.
know, you said it, where you have to let that go. You have to let that old. You have to get rid of the old to make room for the new.
Yeah, I'll give you a good example. You know, when I was in the hospital bed, my paradigm, the way I was thinking, the way I was look after my health, you know, myself, my personal development stuff, was nowhere near where I am now. But I make that committed decision. I'm going to work on myself first. And one of the things that I'm going to work with is my health. So I start to attracting the good things that help me achieve that, you know, that goals and that ambition of mine to be better. I start to attracting good opportunities. I start to attracting Iceanic. I started to attracting people like yourself, you know, Linda Proctor and the team, you know, and our team executive team. You know, I start to surround myself. You know, but that was what happened. That decision from a hospital bed was a tiny master seed, and I didn't know it's gonna make an impact. But guess what happened? My family are healthy because they see me. They see me grinding. They see me value my health. You know, I put the right nutrition. I fill my body with the right protein and the right mineral and nutrition. And then I work on myself. I read books. I listen to audio books. My family are sick of me getting into their car because they want to listen to their music. But because they are in my car is an university, first class university. And they listen to people like Jim Long, Bob Proctor, you know, Eric Worre, you know. But guess what? They see what my ambition is. They see what I want to achieve in life, and it's make a ripple effect. You know, everywhere we go, people are complimenting it. And my wife, you know, she looks young, she looks well, she looks healthy, and they look at me. I'm healthy, you know, and my kids, they exercise, they look well. You know, I went with my son and helped a friend move on the weekend. And they can't believe he's my son. They thought he's a friend of mine or just a brother. Because we were almost the same age and look the same, and and that's the thing, that the little mustard seed that I decided I'm going to plant it from a hospital bed, it make a ripple effect in everything I do, my family, my colleagues, my community, my visit in isogenic, and I'm so grateful for that. Imagine if I didn't plant it seed. I just thought about it and just leave it like that, and without put that
Yeah.
little seed.
It is interesting. It is interesting, Joe, because when you're talking about planting that seed, like obviously the roots grow underground first before anything appears on the outside. And like you say, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, but it can be a short time for that seed to start to grow and start to show. But that comes through nurturing that seed. This is the action that you take every day, whether it be going to the gym or, eating the right food. If we're specifically talking about, getting into better health, looking and feeling the best you felt in a decade or whatever else, you didn't get into that shape overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight, but planting that seed and then nurturing that through the action that you take, giving it water, giving it food, the right water, the right food, the right sunlight, the right rest, all of those things, then you start to see, the result, of that care, self-care, let's say, because you've got to care you've got to be invested in your decision, in your idea. And this is what I'm talking about, that how do you get invested in your idea? How do you, what is one action that someone could take today to move closer to the life that they want? What is one action that someone can take?
Mike?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you repeat that question, Mike, if you don't mind, please?
Yeah. What I was saying was that what is one action that someone can take today to move closer to the life that they want?
Okay, great question, Mike. I'll say this: get into action. Like you said, if we have a course without a plan, and we don't go to execute that plan, nothing happened. And it's simple as this: nothing happened if nothing changed. So, if I want to go from, when I was in a hospital bed, that's the reality of my life. But I didn't want to tell my story one day that I'm always in a hospital bed. I want to change my story, and I decided that I'm going to change the way I think, the way I act, the way I get my result. And I go to work. So I start looking, I start asking questions. I start to show up to events. I start getting mentors, And that's the thing. For me, it's simple. Get into action. Action will help you learn, make some mistake, adjust, and keep going again. Yeah? Because if I didn't do any action, Mike, I won't be here. I won't be able to be the person that I am today. But because I make the action, I do it messy. I do it unexperienced. I do it, without skill. I do it without a better communication. But when I look at my result now, it's because I take the action. I make the mistake. I adjust. I plan and I do and I review. And exactly when I understand that nothing worthwhile in life is gonna be easy. Nothing worthwhile in life is gonna be happen overnight. It all take time. So, but the main important thing is in this sentence: keep moving forward, and keep moving forward, including take action daily. whether you go for a walk, whether you swap your fast food habit to drink more water, eat more healthy, eat more whole food, uh, whatever decision or action that you think it will help you reach your goal, pursue that. Pursue it, because every master was a disaster at the beginning. They was like us, and what we see in our professional, there's a lot of people on the top. They were like us. They were a single mother, have no idea. There's no money, you know, live by paycheck to paycheck, but they make the decision and they go to work. They start talking to people. They start asking questions. They start getting into events. They start sharing what they know, what they been taught by their leaders, yeah, and or mentor. And because they do the work and they make the mistake and they adjust themselves, they calibrate themselves to a point, they build their confidence and start to realize, oh, this is what I do and it doesn't work. I'll change it. I'll do another plan and I'll execute that plan. So it's all come down to action. If you have goals and you don't do any action about it, that seed, that goals will be dead because you don't cultivate it. You can put the seed in the soil, but it's important that you cultivate it. Guard your mind, because there's a lot of negative out there. A lot of people will tell you it won't work. We've done it before, But because you keep cultivated that one, you keep surround yourself with the right people, to a point you understand, if Mike already done it, I think I can do it too. Yeah. But it's all come down to action. Take action. Do something. Don't wish about it and think about it and hope about it, because wish and hope doesn't give you the result. Yeah. Yeah.
This comes down to what you kind of started off by saying. For things to change, you have to change, and there's no doubt about it. That's true. And change, as Bob Proctor would say, change is inevitable. And if you're not changing it, you're choosing it, but someone else is going to change it for you. And then you're going to feel bitter about it. You're going to feel angry about it. You're going to be blaming other people for it. So part of it is about being personally responsible, for where you are, and how you got there, and accepting that, right?
Yeah.
But if you want something new, you're going to have to do something new.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be frightening for people. It can be daunting for people, which is why community is important, which is why getting around the right people, because the community that you've got up until this stage has brought you this far. And if this isn't the road that you want to be on, well, maybe you need to find a new community with a new road, which can be hard, because that kind of change is difficult. And because, like changing communities is like a bucket of crabs. Like if you try and pull a crab out of a bucket, all the other crabs try and pull it back in. And that's what life can sometimes be like, where you're being pulled, emotionally by people who you care and love. And Bob Proctor talks about it. He says, like, maybe you just don't want to spend as much time with them. You still have to see them, but don't spend as much time with them as you used to. And that's part of it. That's part of, change. You've got to change your environment, because you can't stay in the same place and become different. Now, that's technically not true, because you can stay in the same place you become, and you can become more bitter. You become more angry with your situation. You can blame, your circumstances more often, but that's not change. That's, that's building your character, but in the wrong way. Because if something happens to you, like for example, you're in your hospital bed, and let's say, you get angry with the situation, and you just repeatedly get angry with the situation. Every time you think about it, you get more angry. You're angry and angry. Every time you tell a story, you're angry about it. You're annoyed by it. You're blaming other people for what happened and how it happened to you. Well, firstly, that story starts off at that big, but 10 years later, that story's that big. It's huge, and the anger and the frustration is real. So, you can change, but not change. You can change. You can stay in that environment and change for the worse. It's unlikely you're going to change for the better. You have to change your environment to change for the better, which is moving outside of your comfort zone, you know, because when you step into a room where you're ignorant to a degree, you don't know as much as the people in there, that can be challenging, especially when you're stepping out of a room where you're the smartest person in that room. You know, you know more scriptures than anybody else, you know more psalms than anybody else, you know more of this than anybody else, you know more than that about something else. So stepping out into a new environment where you don't know as much about it is a humbling experience, you know, because you have to realize, okay, well, I'm here to learn, I'm here to figure this stuff out, and I've got the right people around me to be able to do that. And you know, when I think about, you know, the direction of your daily actions and where it can take you, these are about daily habits. You know, what you do in the morning when you wake up, how you walk, talk, sleep, how you act. Bob talks about it in that video. Walk, talk, act like you're already there. You know, you grow into that person you're going to become along the journey. Like, you know, you don't wake up tomorrow morning and so I suppose, look, it's one of the reasons why people who win the lottery, you know, they're broke within a year. They spend it all within a couple of years because they're not the person that they need to be able to manage that risk, you know? So it's a challenging situation, Joe. But look, I want to get your final thoughts, you know, on the action that someone can take today, you know, to move their life in the direction that they want to go, and how you start that process by, you know, making a committed decision, you know, writing down your goals, writing down an action plan to be able to execute your goals, you know, how to celebrate your goals, how to separate your time so that no one gets left out, you know, family, relationships, friends, your work, you know, the people at work, you know, like it means that doing things differently to get a different outcome. You know, like there's an old expression, you know, if you carry on doing the same thing and expecting to get a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So it does mean change. Change is, and it's about changing everything, you know, from here
Mm.
to here, you know, and the actions that you take. So, right, we want to get Joey, million
Yep.
dollar difference maker Maka Unga, get his final thoughts. And don't forget, you can find Joey on his Facebook page, and again on his health and wellness page. Links are in the description, so go and check him out. And look, if you're not interested in what Joey's doing, in fact, he'll be the first to tell you if it's not right for you. But look, go and check him out and see. And again, you can find me on my business page, petsofthesisland.com/academy. We're launching this new thing. To be honest, I've been working all week on this framework, this roadmap of what we're going to do. It's like a 169-page document. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking mind-blowing. And it's a lot of work. But the reward comes after you do the work. And you know, I'm talking about making massive change here. But it's the reason why, you know, you want to do something. The how to becomes easy when you've got a strong reason why. And that's part of it too, Joey. You had a strong reason why. So I want to hear you know, Joey's final thoughts on the direction of your daily actions and the things that you can do, the decisions that you can make, the commitment that it takes, you know, all of that stuff, all of that good stuff, Joe.
Mike, thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, every week I have the honor and the privilege to share, you know, my story, my journey. And I can't do it without you because, you know, when you come into my life and we partnership and we create the friendship. And I always say to a lot of people that a lot of my network were strangers. As a stranger become friends, and now those friends have become my family. And you are one of my family. You know, we live a long distance away, you know, but you know, every week we see each other. Every week we come together, and you talk about, you know, energy is very important in your journey, you know, in your goal, in your ambition, because if you walk into a room that is full of negative and discouraged energy, you feel it. You know, I think the dog can sense that you scare of them. That's why they bark at you or they run straight at you because they can feel it. We're gonna get him. You know, but even the small baby, you know, if you Bob talk about it, if you are in the queue going somewhere and you see a parent holding their child, and if you smile at the baby will smile at you because even the little child can, because our energy is it's produced from the vibration that we have, whether it's come and it's come from within what is inside of you, you know. So I'm very, very grateful, to be honest with you, Mike, to share my experience, share my story. And tell you, to be honest with you, I take you with me in my journey. And because of the impact, the difference that you make in my journey and professionally and personally. So I'm very grateful for you. I thank you for allowing me to do that honor every week in, week out. For me, it starts with goals. You know, everyone, we have some idea in our head and we carry that idea from very young. We call it dreams. You know, we when we were young, we dream. We dream of flying on an airplane. We dream of living in a nice house. We're dreaming on going on vacation with our parents. And a lot of people, those dreams stay with them until they die. And then the sad thing, when they go to the grave in the cemetery, those dreams will come to them and visit them at the last day. And they said, you know, we are the ideas, we are the dreams that you have all your life. But because you never decide, you never do something about us so that we come to life and we're gonna die with you and and never come to this world. The reality is there's those dreams can come to reality if you make the decision. And decision come from make a sacrifice in your life to, all right, this is where I am now, this is the location where I am, this is the situation where I am, whether I'm gonna live like this to the rest of my life or I'm gonna change something. Change is good. Change, that's how the world evolved. That's how the technology evolved because of the change. Without the change, we still don't have a mobile phone. We don't still have technology. Maybe we still have the old dial telephone. You know, we won't be able to do FaceTime. We don't able to do Zoom or podcasts like this. But because changing, man decided to make the world better because we are part of the co-creation. And God put us in this world so that we can help create a better world for all the human beings. So it's all come down to the idea that was on our head. And Bob used to say, get a piece of paper, get a pen, and go and to a place, a quiet place, whether it's in a park, whether it's in a room, away from anyone, and start putting all those ideas in a piece of paper. Because when you get out of your head into your heart and put it on a piece of paper, you start to create the life you really want in life. Quit listen to other people. Quit listen to people who said, I don't have the money. No, I want to travel, but I want to start a business part. Quit listening to those people because you have a potential in you to create something better for yourself, for your family, for your loved one. And start get out of your head into your heart and put it down. Put it down on a piece of paper. Write it down. And here is a good exercise. Me and Mike believe in that exercise. You write it down your goals. Write as many as you can. I have 3 books in my office. It's goal. One is them is goal. Goal journal. The other one is self-image. It's how I see myself. I see myself as a healthy, happy, and a wealthy person. Um, because our language is very important to build our character, very important to build our confidence, very important to build the image that we meant to be. Always remember, we are God's highest form of creation. We are living being, living in a physical body. And we experience life through the action, the thing that we have, the thing that we can allow to give or to bless other people with. And the last one is gratitude. Gratitude is a very important part of our life. And if I can, me and Mike will suggest something for you. Get a book, get a journal. and start writing down your goals. Get a journal, a goal journal, name it. And every day, this is one of the exercises I do. I wrote down my goals. I wrote down my goal. I see it every day, vividly, you know. And even when I work, I see something and it is all of a sudden it click. It's kind of like remind me this is where I want to go. I see a picture on the road or in my phone, and it remind me this is where I want to go. If you want to go, make it simple. You don't want a journal, get a card, get a small card like this, 4x5 or 3x5 size, and write it down. Get a business. You know what I do when I go to the clinic or office. I always get the card, not only so I can get some contact, but some of the card is got white. They written something on one side and the other side is blank. So I used to write my goal there, and I put it on a laminated film, and I carry with me. So I normally put it close to my heart, on my pocket, close to my heart, because it's connected. It's talking to me every day and said, this is what I really want in life. So make a goal, write it down, and make a plan. You know, and the plan could be what I'm going to do tomorrow to move me close to my goals. If it's about health, I'm going to go to bed early. You know, I'm going to sleep 7 hours, you know. I'm saying this, but this is one of the things that I'm working on it because of the commitment that I have. I have to kind of like, they said it's like a person that put up a trap, and it's every time it's go to check the trap. It's my sleeping is almost like this, like 5 hours, sometimes 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours. On the weekend, thank God there's a weekend, I do 6 to 7 hours. I sleep in because I want to give my body the opportunity to rinse, to cleanse, and to kind of like rebuild. Yeah, like or wash like a dishwashing machine. Yeah, so you know, do something, you know, write down your goal, have a plan, think about what I'm going to do to move me close to my plan, then start acting on it. Most people, they have a goals, they have a plan, but guess what happened? And that's the problem we talk about tonight. This is the thing that get you moving toward to your goals. Start acting. Acting, you know, in our business is called network marketing. And I tell my people to get the net, to get the capital, you have to put the effort in. At the beginning, you have to put a lot of effort, because later on, when you build it right and it's explode, it's got the compounding effect, got the geometric progression, you will reap the reward. You know, it's like farming. You put the seed in on the ground, and what happened? The bird will come and get it. You know, the sun will come and get it. The rocky place will come and get it. The thorny weed and thing will come and get some. But guess what happened? If you keep planting the seed, cultivate it, and look after them, it will fall into a good soil, and it will be multiplied 10 times, 20 times, 25 times, 30 times, 100 times. And you know what? One day you look back and you're proud of yourself, because not only you have goals, you have guts, you have courage, and you write it down, and you have a plan. And what happened? You go and execute it. You like the farmer. You plant it. You cultivate it. You guard your mind from the bird. You guard your mind from the sun. You know, and one day it's become an apple tree, and the apple tree will bear fruit. And guess what happened? Not only you can enjoy it, you can sell it, you can give it to other people, and then the next generation will come. Your children will reap the reward. Your grandchildren will reap the reward. And if they die and pass it on, the next generation will still continue, because of your decision today to make a difference, to make an impact in your life and other people's life. Mike, I thank God every day because of you, my friend. And the journey is enjoyable, climbing to the mountain, because you have friends to take with you. And I said to my team today, sometimes I have to slow down, and you think that, and because they tell me, oh, you never sleep because you help everyone else. And I said, we are all climbing on a mountain in the business world. Sometime, if you, I think, Mike, you will understand this concept from The Secret. In the war, the bigger ship, the stronger ship, have to slow down to make sure they go together with her. The war And the fighting is more enjoyable and more achievable when you're fighting together. Don't try to fight it by yourself. You know, get the people they believe in you. So they cheering you. They're people that they want you to success in life. Be part of your journey, and that's why, Mike. Every time I'm with you, I'm fired up. I know I have people, and I always remind this, not because you listen to me, but you make an impact in my life. You're the person who believe in me before my family believe in me. You know, you were a stranger, become a friend, and now we're family now because you have the faith. You believe. You see something in me that my family haven't seen yet. You know, maybe they seen it, but they said, "Oh, it's too late now to catch up to Joey." You know, even though he's the young sibling in our family, but you know, that's the thing. You know, life is enjoyable when you have the right people on the journey with you. In the battlefield, you need to trust your people. You need to have the right accountability so they can help you, push you forward, keep moving forward. Because sometimes life is hard. Life is hard. Everything in life is hard. You know, building a business is hard. You know, working on your health is hard. But when you surround yourself with the right associate, right people, right mentor, right accountability, you know, you keep moving forward no matter what. 1% is better than try to be 100% by yourself, and then tomorrow you forget about your goals and your mission and your ambition in life. It's better to be 1% better every single day, because we believe in what we do is a group, a lot of people do a little bit by daily. And that's the reward we have in life. If you help enough people get what they want in life, you also get yours. Mike, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for making me fire up, and thank you for the journey. Appreciate you, my friend. And thank you for everyone that watching and listening to this.
All good, Joey, and you're absolutely right. Service to many leads to greatness, and that's what it's about. You know, helping others for sure, and you know, being accountable to yourself. I think that, you know, when you're talking there, you know, what I was hearing was, you know, turning up as the best version of yourself, being personally responsible, you know, for yourself, and you know, setting a clear target, a clear aim, a clear goal as to what it is that you want, the person that you want to become, you know, what you want to get out of life, and then create a plan, an action plan, and then, you know, you set the direction. You set the direction for your life. You set the direction for your life from a hospital bed, right? That's what you did, you know, and you know, you can see now that if you can do it, anybody can do it, you know, because you set the direction for your life. And you know, don't do what Joey did. Don't wait until life gets so bad, you know, that it's unbearable, that you're disgusted with your own situation. And there's nothing wrong with being disgusted with your situation. You can be disgusted now, knowing that you're just not being, you know, better. But you can take steps right now to be better just by thinking better. Listen to what Joey said. He says, I've got 3 books. One is about self-esteem, self-image. You know, change how you think and feel about yourself moves you forward, you know. And again, so these are things that you can do and you can learn, you know, for yourself to get better. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's all about thinking better, doing better, but it starts with taking action. You got to act. You got to be better. You got to take personal responsibility for your own actions. Like, if you're not getting the results that you want, don't turn and blame everybody else. Look at the action that you're taking. You know, improve the action that you're taking. You know, what does Joey say? Plan, do, review. You make a plan, you do it, and you review it. You keep the stuff that's working, you get rid of the stuff that isn't. Change it, and give yourself the best chance to give yourself the best life that you can have. And that best life is going to make a difference, not just for you, but for your friends, your family, your community. And this is what lifestyle is all about. You know, like, yes, let's say you make a lot of money. That's great. Let's say that you get a nice house, you get a nice car, you have a nice holiday and all that kind of stuff. How wonderful. That's absolutely brilliant, you know. But what else could you do to make a difference for those people around you? You know, what difference could you make in your community? You know, how would you how would you make that difference? What would you do? Right? So, you know, listen, Go and find Joe on his Facebook page. He's worth a follow, right?
Mm.
And check out what he's doing. He's making a difference. He's making a difference for a lot of people, and that's what this world is all about. It's about making a difference for the people. Your reward comes when you do the work. Joey is clearly putting in the work, and he's put in the unseen work, the stuff that people haven't seen. Don't think Joey just turned up today or last week or a year ago as this $1 million difference maker. He didn't. There was work that went in before that. There was action that went in before that nobody's seen. Like there was challenges that he had. Like Joey will tell you his own story, but for years Joey didn't think he could be in the army. Why is he in the army today? That's a different story. That's next week's story, right? But look, this is why you want to know this stuff, because you can always change your mind. You can always change your mind. And I would say start there. Start there. You're better than you think you are. Right. And if you've got people putting you down, telling you that you can't do this, you can't do that, look, just don't spend as much time with those people. Go and find some people that'll build you up and say, do you know what? You can do it. You deserve it. They'll be honest with you and say, look, don't expect to get it in the next 6 months. It might take you 5 years. It might take you 3 to 5 years to get there. But if you start now, start before you're ready. Practice, work on yourself. What does Joey say? Be a good student. Work on yourself. Do it messy. Learn from your mistakes, and then you can, and your confidence grows, your effectiveness grows, your efficiency grows. And these are important things, so you want to get better. But to do that, you have to get better first. You have to make better decisions. You can't expect things to change while remaining the same. You have to look at yourself and say, do you know what? I can be better. And it's not an easy thing to do. I'm not saying it's easy, but is it a challenge? But if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Why not you? Why not you? Like Joey's not special. I'm not special. I still put my trousers on one leg at a time. So. But again, it's about having a desire, having a desire to be better, having a desire to serve more people, having a desire to bring more value, to help people in a way that's going to make them feel better, right? Yeah. And the more people that I can help with that, the more people that Joey can help with that, the better Joey's life is, the better my life is, the better their life is. Who doesn't want better? We all want better. So why not, focus our attention, on serving others, being personally responsible, being the best version of ourselves, not being hard on ourselves, but just being better, and Joey said it before, every day when you wake up, you get the opportunity to be better than you were yesterday, right? Start there, don't wait until you're in a hospital bed like Joey, do it now. What does Joey say? Do it now.
Get it done.
Right. Yeah, get it done is right. Right. Listen, you've been watching Freedom, Health and Lifestyle, episode 151, the direction of your daily habits, right? If you have a look at your daily habits, you can, literally project where you're going to be, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. That time's going to pass by anyway. Why not change some of those daily habits and set the direction that you want to go in? Joey, thank you so much. As always, you're a superstar.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for your kind words. I'm always grateful for you. Mike, can you do me a favor? Can you go to my Facebook page and go and do the cover site, the cover page, please, if you don't mind.
Let me have a look. I've only got one screen today, so hold on.
Okay.
No. Hold on. Let me do share.
Yep. Just the cover page, not the profile page. I think the cover page.
Right. Is that the cover page? Can you see that?
Perfect. That's the new me. So
look at that.
This is what I do, Mike, and you're one of those people that inspire me to go after what I really want in life. And it's getting better. Slowly, you develop, you grow, and you learn to understand to quit listen to what other people's opinion is, because people opinion is very cheap. They can have their opinion. That's none of my business. But as long I don't buy their opinion, I stick to my guts, stick to my calls, stick to my impression. And that's what I do. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it with our audience. I just want to let you know that I am proud of you and I'm proud of our audience and the people that follow our work. I hope we add value to them. I hope we bless them in some way. God bless you all.
Thank you, Joey. And listen, have an amazing week. You definitely are a difference maker for certain, you know, helping, you know, people change their lives, turn their lives around, especially men over 40. You know, look, keep doing what you're doing because you're making a real difference for people. And those people are going to, you know, copy you and help you make a difference in other people's lives as well. And that's what it's all about. It's about making a difference for other people. So listen, we're going to watch this video, right? And this video, it's only 3 minutes and 26 seconds, right? But everything in here is to help you get better, right? All you got to do is apply it. You got to take it and apply it, take it and apply it. Learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. Right, Joey, I'm going to see you next week. I'll see you on the other side anyway, but listen, watch this video. This is my favorite video, right?
Thanks, Mike.
Right. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Now, do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. Now we say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.